The crochet latch hook is #1 out of loc tools. And educator that comes into the clutch for all things lots of business and content. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Today we're talking about the best tools for interlocking locks. Whether you are a DIY-er, a professional loctician, or somewhere in between, I'll be rating tools based off my personal experience, what tools work best for different skill levels, and I'll even give you some alternative options, whether you're looking for something that's lower in cost or you're looking for something that has a different shape or style. I got you. First up, and also coming in last on my list, is the crochet latch hook. The crochet latch hook is #1 out of loc tools. But don't get me wrong, when I first started my loctician journey in 2018, I used the latch hook. That's because I was a self-taught loctician, and I'm not afraid to say it, I learned from YouTube University when I first started. But by the end of 2018, I kicked that latch hook to the curb. But I'm not going to tell you why I kicked it to the curb without giving you the reasons why. So first up, it snagged way too often. Over time, I noticed that there would be like little white bobs along the shaft of the lock, and it would be because the latch or the hook would snag onto single pieces of hair and spit out the follicle. And you know, that's a surprise to me because I've always been a light-handed loctician. I was always taking my time because I noticed it did snag a lot, especially when you get into a groove. You go too fast, you could snag and really hurt the client. And then speaking of hurting the client, I would have new clients come in and they would say that either their homegirl said that their reties hurt real bad or their reties was hurting real bad. And the common factor of their reties hurting is because the loctician, they used a latch hook and really wasn't using it properly or wasn't sure how to stop all that snagging. So if you're a beginner and a DIY-er and you're like, yo, I can only use this latch hook tool to retie my hair, that is what I'm comfortable with, I totally understand. I would just say to make sure you watch out for snagging hairs and pulling hair out of the locks. So for beginner locticians, I definitely would not recommend. If you're a DIY-er, look out for the snagging. It's not going to be my top recommendation, but it's a cheap alternative. You can literally go to Michael's and get a latch hook. But for professional locticians or experienced locticians, I would not recommend to use this tool as your primary tool. And like I said, this tool is my biggest op, so I don't have one of those on hand right now. So I'm just going to put it right here so you can see it. Coming in next at #2 is the Easy Loc tool and others with a similar shape. Now this tool is what I call the DIY-ers tool. This tool is a step up from the latch hook tool. It has an enclosed opening at the top so you can fit the end of the lock through the tool, and then it goes into a point, and then that pointed part of the tool, that's pretty much your guide. That's where you're putting through the root of the lock to complete the interlocking rotation. You can see that here it's an opening. You see how it kind of crimps in a little bit. This is for like if the lock is a little bit smaller, like a Sisterlock or a Microloc, you can put this in through here and it'll hold it in place because it's crimped in. If it's a thicker lock, you'll put it through the bigger space. And then the end, that's what you're actually going to put through the root of the lock to retie the lock. Now these tools usually come in plastic or metal, and it's pros and cons to both. The plastic tools have way more flexibility, but up until recently, most of the plastic tools I would have to buy in bulk because they would snap in the midst of interlocking. But then on the other hand, you have the metal tools such as this one. Yes, it's more durable because it's metal, but it doesn't have that flexibility that I like for the plastic tools. If you're looking for a tool that is flexible and also has durability, I would definitely look into the Universal Loc Tool. It's got the flexibility, and honestly, I don't know how they did it, but it's so durable. I used it on one of my traditional lock clients that has always snapped my plastics tools, and she ain't snapped this one. I'll say that. All in all, the Easy Loc tool and tools that are of similar shape are highly recommended for DIYers and also highly recommended for beginner locticians. I recommend it for the DIYers because it gives you more hand control, and that snagging element that comes with the latch hook tool is eliminated just based off the way you enter the tool and the way the tool is shaped. For beginner locticians or locticians that's wanting to learn the interlocking technique or maybe add it to their service, this tool is great because it allows you to grasp the concept of interlocking and the interlocking rotations, and it's definitely useful to have in your inventory, especially if you're not someone that interlocks locks on a consistent basis. However, as you advance through your journey of being a loctician and gaining more experience in interlocking, I would not recommend this type tool as your primary tool. I would recommend it as a secondary tool. The reason for that is because I noticed with this tool, at least for me, it really slowed down my speed. And then when I talk to other locticians that are trying to increase their retie speed and they don't know how to increase it, majority of the time the loctician is still using the Easy Loc tool, and that is just an indicator that they need to go ahead and move it on up to a more specialized tool, which we'll be talking about next. Now, my absolute favorite tool that ranks #1 on my list is the hook tool. The hook tool is one that will transform your retie game as a loctician and bring it to the next level. I was first introduced to the hook tool when I attended the Sisterlocks class. The Sisterlock tool isn't for sale, and the reason for that is because they consider it trademark material. So because of this, if you're a Sisterlock consultant, if you ever lost your tool, you really have to go through hoops to replace your tool. You have to call the office. Over time, other tools have entered the market to allow more flexibility with replacing your tools when you need to and not really have to go through a lot of middleman. One of the reasons why the hook tool is my favorite tool of all time is because once you master this tool, you can really decrease your retie times significantly. And then plus, using it gives you a sense of exclusivity as a loctician. I find that when a loctician uses a tool such as the latch hook tool or the Easy Loc tool, that others will think in their head that, oh, this is easy, I could do this at home, or anybody can do this, which I feel like lowers the respect for the craft. So now you can understand why I say the Easy Loc tool is ideal for beginner locticians and for DIYers, because it is easier to retie the hair with this tool, and others will think it's easier because it really is. So for professionals or for experienced locticians, the hook tool is a professional tool. I have used many hook tools, and I'm not going to gatekeep. I'll make sure to link it for you. But right now, my top hook tool is the Enerlocks tool. For me, it's a game changer. One, it's metal, which means it's heavier. And me personally, I prefer tools that are on the heavier side. And especially with being metal, I feel like I can feel the vibrations a little bit more. I can feel through the metal when hair is catching and when to back off and go through again. And on top of that, if you're clumsy like me, that bracelet and extender is a game changer. And then on top of that, you can customize the bracelet and extender to match your brand colors. And you know I'm all about that brand color. So it's stylish, functional, and also it eliminates that added time to an appointment if you drop your tool and have to go sanitize it after. And before you beat me up in the comments and in the DMs, I know the Enerlocks tool is on the pricey side. I want to link some other alternative tools that have different price ranges and that are plastic and are metal, so you could try some out and figure out which works for you. All right, so let's recap real quick. Coming in last on the list is the Crochet latch hook tool. The #1 op, I do not recommend it whether you're a DIYer or if you're a beginner loctician. But hey, if you gotta use it, go get it from Michael's and be careful. Coming in at #2 is the Easy Loc tools or tools that's the similar shape. My #1 recommended tool for a DIYer or for a beginner loctician that's still trying to get the idea of the interlocking rotations. But for locticians, this is not my #1 recommended tool. I would have this tool in your inventory, but I would use it as a secondary, not my primary tool. And coming in at #1 is the hook tool. tool, perfect for professionals that want to reduce their retie time and get that precise control. If you're looking to step up your interlocking game, make sure you pick the right tool for you. I linked the tools in all the similar tools that I talked about today in my Amazon storefront or through my affiliate links. Be sure to check them out to make sure you find a tool that fits your budget or your specific needs. And lastly, before I let you go, you always have to end it with a disclaimer. Anything in my videos I am talking about based on my experiences as a loctician. So if you're an experienced loctician and you like to use that latch hook tool, you like to use the easy lock tool, hey, that's you. Just make a video about why you prefer to use it over the other tools, because I'm just sharing that works for me. So I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this as well. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And again, if you have any other questions or something that you want my opinion about, please drop it in the comments below. Thank you for tuning in. If you got this far, please drop a heart and something that you learned in the comments today. But otherwise, I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a great day.